Hey there, and welcome to another Health Essentials podcast. I'm John Horton, your host. When you think of exercise, some sort of go activity probably comes to mind. Today, though, we're going to talk about dialing down your workout with Tai Chi. This ancient martial art uses slow and focused movements to build physical and mental strength, and it's becoming more popular than ever as a fitness routine. But can you really get that much benefit out of a slow motion activity? To answer that question and more, we're joined by Tim Sobo, a personal trainer and Chinese medicine specialist. He is one of the many experts at Cleveland Clinic who visit us weekly to explore wellness trends. So with that, let's ease into our exploration of Tai Chi. Welcome to the podcast, Tim. I have had this chat circled on my calendar for a while because I'm really curious about Tai Chi.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'll hopefully answer as many questions about it as I can and demystify some of it while we're at it.
Well, that's what we're looking to do. But before we kind of get there, I want to spend a minute talking about you and kind of what kind of pulled you toward embracing elements of traditional Chinese medicine.
Yeah. So,
what was the attraction?
So I've been involved in martial arts since a very young age, and that kind of went from Taekwondo and karate into Tai Chi. And so I've practiced Tai Chi on and off for the better part of probably close to 20 years now. And it's just a fascinating kind of system of exercise, health system. The buzzword you hear is meditation in motion.
That is, I know, I like that. Yeah, it really is. Well, and one of the things I think is interesting because, you kind of, Tai Chi, like you said, is very slow moving. And it just blows my mind that it's tied to a Chinese martial art.
Yeah. So,
and originally for combat.
Yeah. So I'll give you
that's a big evolution.
I'll give you the brief kind of history of Tai Chi. I'll compress it, to an extent. So, original Tai Chi is Chen style Tai Chi. That the earliest evidence of that existing is the late 1600s in China. 1680, 1670, around that, we kind of have written proof that there is a person whose name was Chen Wangting who started teaching this style of Tai Chi. And this Tai Chi, Chen style Tai Chi, which is still done today, is far more martial in what you're thinking. It has strong, powerful movements. It's not just this slow kind of moving thing. This is still very much the martial art.
Yeah, you look at the slow stuff and you go, I'm not a combat person, but I think I could get around that.
Yeah, so the one you're thinking of, probably the most famous Tai Chi style in the world, is Yang style Tai Chi. Yang style Tai Chi is kind of founded in the early 1800s, 1820, 1830, around then, by a student of Chen Tai Chi who decided that this is too much for a lot of people. This is very much martial still. Let's make this a little less martial, more health related. And that's when Tai Chi slowed down. The deep stances became a little less deep. The explosive outbursts of power kind of went away, and the whole thing just became smoother in movement. All of the martial aspects are still there, but it's not taught as a martial art anymore, where Chen style Tai Chi is still not exclusively taught as a martial art, but is the most obvious martial of the 5 major styles of Tai Chi that are taught. Chen being the original, Yang being the second, and the other 3 grew out of Yang style Tai Chi, which is a Wo, a Hue, and a Sun. And I'm sorry if my Chinese is butchering all those pronunciations, but those are the 5 big styles of Tai Chi.
I'm glad you're saying them and not me. Well, let's get into kind of what Tai Chi looks like, because I know I've got this image in my head that's sort of like slow motion kung fu.
Yeah.
I mean, is that kind of what we're talking about?
So if you watch, Yang style Tai Chi, which I said is the most common one in the world. If you just Googled or YouTubed Tai Chi form, that's the ones you're going to find, unless you really start like delving into the weeds of it all. And those are those big, slow, controlled movements where your upper body and your lower body are all moving together.
Okay. So there's like steps and
Yeah.
arm motions kind of all
Yeah.
at once,
So
but it's a slow coordinated
it's a
movement.
coordinated thing. So each move has a name. And it's, like the most common one, or not the most common, but the very first move in Yang style Tai Chi is called parting the horse's mane. It's a move that involves your arm movements, you moving to one side and ending in a posture. And then there's another move that's a transition to a next move. So each movement has a name. And it's a series of movements put together.
So parting the horse's mane. I love the name of
Yeah.
that.
So, in no particular order, there's parts the horse's mane, man plays the lute, snake creeps down. Those are just the ones I could think of off the top of my head right now in the names, and they all have these, you know, poetic names to them that also then kind of explain what the movement looks like. So those watching on a video, like playing the lute, ends up with your hands in front of you as if you were playing the lute. Snake creeps down is where you're going all the way down to the ground in this smooth kind of motion that a snake would make. So it helps you remember what the move should look like and gives this poetic name to them as opposed to just move to the left, move to the right. Like in yoga, where there's the pose has a name. In Tai Chi, the movement has a name.
All right. Now, so much of Tai Chi seems to kind of focus on harmonizing your body's energy
Yeah.
and mind. And you had mentioned before, it's often called meditation in motion.
Yep.
What does it do for your mental health
Yeah.
if you kind of add Tai Chi to your routine?
Yeah. So, I mean, the first part of it is learning the forms themselves gives you something to focus on learning. Like, how do I move my body? How do I move my left leg with my right leg? How do I move my arm with my other arm? Because it's your entire body moving in unison, as opposed to like just going to the gym and isolating one muscle. This is an entire body movement. So in the beginning, for kind of mental health, it gets you sometimes out of your head, and now you have to focus on this body being moved. And then once you have the choreography down, which can take a very long time to get good at, and you're always able to improve on that, like you learn the move, but then you can get better and better and better at it. I tie it to people who are like competitive dancers. Like, I know how to do a basic ballroom dance, but I'm by no means as good as a ballroom competitor. And so you can get better and better and better at moves with the more and more practice, which gets you sometimes out of your head and into your physical movement. And then once you know all of the routine, you can start focusing on, the breathing aspects of it. Take a deep breath in now, exhale with this move. And it becomes this slow, just nice. And eventually, like, you're not thinking about your next move because you know the whole pattern so well that it just becomes what you're doing. And you realize after a while, you're not thinking about anything.
It sounds like it's rooted in a lot of like that whole concept of mindfulness and just as a form of stress reduction.
Yeah. You got to learn the movement and then you just do it and you're focused on that. And the movements are relatively easy and your stress level can go down as you're just, this movement feels nice. And it's a nice, easy kind of exercise. You step only as far as you can step, you bend only as far as you can bend, and you gradually work those muscles for exercise. You're out of your own kind of head, just thinking about what you have to do. And then once you learn how to do it, you're just kind of in that moment, not thinking about the movement, but just doing the movement and existing kind of right then, and not worried about what's for dinner, what I'm doing for work tomorrow. You're not thinking of any of that. You're just kind of right here on that moment.
Well, and I've seen we're doing this has even been tied to where it can help maybe relieve depression. You mentioned improved mood. I even saw things where it said it could help address brain function and Parkinson's, higher level of thinking skills.
Yeah.
I mean, is there all kind of evidence that
some of that
can kind of
evidence
nudge that up?
Yeah. Sorry to cut you off, but yeah, there's some of that evidence is anecdotal, and some of it is reinforced with study. So some of it is exercise has been shown to improve mood, to help kind of your brain reestablish new pathways through its natural neuroplasticity. And Tai Chi is at its most basic level, a structured, organized exercise. So you're now going to move your arm, you're going to move your leg. So, Parkinson's or arthritis or things like that slowly take away the ability to do that. And then Tai Chi kind of, no, push it as comfortably as you can and keep going. And then as you do more and more of it, that joint loosens up, that muscle gets stronger, that brain gets a little rewired. So you can now do a little bit more. And it's not going to obviously cure Parkinson's by any means, but it's going to help underlying muscle strength, underlying muscle health, underlying joint health as you go through all of these motions, because it's a full range of motion exercise and it's a full body exercise as you're doing that form.
Do you really get that much out of it? Because when you talk about this slow moving activity, I mean, it seems so tame.
Yeah.
But is this the sort of thing where you can really kind of build strength and get some physical perks out of it, a body boost?
Yeah. So, I mean, if you have the chance to stand up, slightly bend your knees and stand there for 30 seconds and you'll feel your legs, muscles get sore and tired. So Tai Chi is an exercise that's entirely body weight. You're bending, you're standing, you're doing body weight squats over and over again. You're holding your arm out, you're bringing your arm up, you're bringing your arm over. All of those motions over and over again are range of motion exercises, body squats, balance exercises, because you got to have parts where you're standing on one foot as you step out. Then you're going to pick your leg up as you kick, and you work on all those balance things. So you get to work on balance, you get to work on stability, you get to work on muscle strength, you get to work on joint health, all without like this intensive kind of thing of, all right, go do 20 body squats, because it's something more engaging than, staying there in the gym and going up and down. All right, here I'm going to squat 10 times. You do this pattern of movement, which is fun. Not that going to the gym isn't fun, but like it's this choreographed move that you can do with groups of other people. And you're all doing these moves together in unison. And there's this nice social feeling of, joining a Tai Chi school or a Tai Chi gym. And you can do it all together. And then by yourself at home, it's not just, all right, I'm going to do this 30 times. It's, I'm going to do this routine. And it takes, 15 minutes to sometimes do the whole routine, depending on which version of the form you're doing, how slow you can go, how fast you're going. And yeah, you'll feel your leg muscles kind of sore. You'll feel your back get sore in that I used my muscle kind of way.
Well, and it seems so approachable. And I imagine this is something that is particularly good as people age.
Yeah.
And maybe you don't want to hit the gym and be trying to put as many weights as you can on a bar. You just kind of work these through, and like I said, hitting those issues like balance and stability as you get older, those are critical.
Yeah. So so Tai Chi is going to teach you, here's how you stand for your best balance. When you go to walk, you're going to move all your weight this way and then pick your foot up and move all your weight that way. And it's slow and it's controlled, and you're not moving weight around. You're just moving yourself. And you're always moving yourself. So if you can kind of work through what's the best way to move myself, from a health standpoint, that'll also be better.
I have times where moving myself feels like a lot of weight. So that happens.
Yeah.
Other things I've seen it tied to with physical benefits are pain relief, easing arthritis, even COPD. I mean, is this all ways? I mean, it can make an impact.
Yeah. So we'll start with the COPD one. That just has to do with like the movements themselves. Take a deep breath in for a count of 3 or 4 while you're doing this movement, as opposed to just like your standard room breathing. Tai Chi has built into it.
That's structured breathing. Yeah.
As you're doing something. So you have a structured 5-second inhale followed by a 5-second exhale, which will help help strengthen your lungs. The arthritis, joints are designed to move. Once arthritis sets in and we typically want to move less and less because it hurts, Tai Chi, again, is a simple prescribed exercise that you can kind of work through to slowly start moving. You just take it to your comfort level. You're not worried about doing a deep squat. You're just worried about bend your knees comfortably, up, and and then move. And as you do it more and more, you'll strengthen those muscles, you'll lubricate up that joint, and you'll notice, hey, I'm going down a little bit farther. I'm standing up a little bit quicker as those muscles get stronger.
And it goes back. We have a chiropractor who comes on all the time, Dr. Bang,
Yeah.
and he loves to say motion is lotion.
Yeah.
And it sounds like this falls in that same category.
Yeah. Like joints are designed to move. And once you don't move them, they just kind of, deteriorate.
They rust up.
Yeah.
Yeah. They rust up. You're the Tin Man after the rain. Yeah.
Or, if you don't drive your car for 6 months, the belts in your engine aren't quite as good because they dry out. They're meant to move.
Well, you've given a pretty good sales pitch for Tai Chi as far as what it can do for you on the mental side and kind of what you can get out of it physically. So, it's hard. I mean, what else could you ask for?
Yeah.
It seems like everything's there.
Yeah, it's a nice prescribed exercise to do that, is fun to do, relatively, simple to learn the choreography of, and you can spend forever getting better and better and better at it.
Well, and that's why I've seen, like, despite or in addition to all the things that we've already mentioned, it's affordable because, like I said, you don't really need anything. You can Google some of these things, or there's classes. It's very low impact. It's accessible to just about everybody that you can go do. So it's kind of out there and just waiting for you to try it.
That's exactly right. Yeah, we have videos the clinic put online of doing Tai Chi. I made them during the early on COVID pandemic. So I'm sure if you Googled, Cleveland Clinic Tai Chi, you'll find me running through a very basic series of 5 movements. YouTube has hundreds of thousands of hours of instruction, or you can find a local Tai Chi school and, go and take classes, get the community around it, and, build a relationship with people as you're exercising for a social aspect of, mental health.
Well, we will find those links and make sure we put them, with the videos and with everything so people can find them. I was going to say, and if somebody does want to start doing Tai Chi, you just mentioned some ways, but are there any other tips you have as like kind of how you can get going with it?
No, So, the most easy, accessible way is just, go online and find a YouTube video with good instruction, and they exist. And then you can start doing them very gently at home. Most bigger cities and towns probably have a Tai Chi offered at, the community center or the YMCA usually bring them in because they are low impact, affordable, and good for kind of health overall. And then some places have legitimate standalone Tai Chi schools where they'll go into so much more than Tai Chi, just the exercise habits of it, but you'll go into the Chinese medicine aspect of it, the partnership aspect, and the drills you can do with partners about it, and things like that.
How often can you do Tai Chi a week? Is this like a daily thing, or
you can do it every single day? Yeah,
you can do it every day. Depending on the intensity, I guess, or
it depends on your kind of structural health. How many times a day can you do those motions? If you ever vacation to China, you'll see people in every park every day. There'll be hundreds of people doing Tai Chi first thing in the morning. They'll be doing it at night. People do it during the day. Yeah, so you can do it multiple times a day, once a week, twice a week. It's just like any other exercise program.
Now, can anyone practice Tai Chi? Or are there some individuals who should avoid it for health or safety reasons? Are there any medical concerns that might prevent somebody from doing it?
So the only real safety concern would be people with severe balance issues. Like if you can't stand, don't do Tai Chi without an assistance of some kind, whether it is, the scooter right next to you or a chair right nearby, something without wheels that won't move, something you can grab onto if you feel like you're going off balance. But beyond that, there isn't really any reason why a person couldn't try it.
I take it, and if you have some more serious health concerns, probably talk to your providers to make sure
you can do it. But typically it's fine to do because it's not intensive cardiovascular. You're not going to get a heart rate spike typically while doing it. Like your heart rate is not going to go up like it is when you jog or swim or something like that. So typically your heart rate will stay roughly where yours normally is. It'll go up a bit because you're now physically exerting yourself, but you're not running, you're not sprinting. All your movements are slow. So typically there isn't a contraindication for it, but check balance, check your overall kind of health. Can you lift your legs? Can you stand on your own and things like that?
Yeah, and I'd imagine with some of that, with the heart rate, I mean, you said if you're working on your breathing and things like that, I could even see where it helps bring it down a little bit as you're doing the activity.
And then there are times and places where no, do it, do the motion sitting. I mean, you can do Tai Chi just upper body in a chair, like I'm kind of doing right now. And you can just, I'm not going to fall. You can focus on breathing, and you can work on shoulder range of motion, keeping your back up straight and just rotating at your waist in the chair.
I get the sense, is it a little like yoga? Because I know I've done some yoga where, to be honest, I've like fallen asleep. And then I've done other types of yoga where it has practically killed me.
Yeah, so
I can barely move.
You can go through that range similarly with Tai Chi. Like you can do Tai Chi. I mean, you're unlike yoga, you're not holding a pose like you do in yoga. Like you'll hold downward dog for 30 seconds. You're not doing that in Tai Chi. You never stop moving in Tai Chi.
It's a constant
You're
movement.
moving from one posture and then right to the next. So you don't have that same chance to fall asleep like you do if you're holding, a child's pose or downward dog or something like that, because Tai Chi is always moving. But you can move enough where you get a really big kind of exhausted from doing a big workout, or you can take it a lot slower and not quite as deep with your stances and things like that. And you don't feel the same kind of intensity that you would just like a yoga class. You can take it to an more extreme, or you can take it to a much more beginner level, and both are effective and both will help for different reasons.
All right. Well, we've covered a ton of ground here. So to kind of bring things to a close, what would you say to someone who's on the fence about giving Tai Chi a try and wondering if it's worth doing?
Yeah. To piggyback what Dr. Bang said, motion is lotion. So give it a shot. I mean, find a place you can try it at home in your house with a good YouTube video. You don't have to worry about doing the whole form. Learn one or two moves and just start doing them till you're comfortable with it. And then try a third move, a fourth move. Nothing says you have to learn the entire, 24 form move on day one. Learn one move, do that for a couple of days, feel comfortable with it. Then learn a second move, then learn a third move. Go find a school to teach it to you, because they'll teach you so much more about movement and how to balance and move yourself around than you ever thought was possible. And it's great and it's a lot of fun too.
And I gotta say, the whole movement and it just looks so rhythmic and like I said, it looks strong, it looks rhythmic, it looks relaxing. There's a lot to like about it. I guess you just got to have the courage to give it a shot.
Go give it a shot. Yeah.
All right. Well, hopefully this will convince everybody to do that. And I'm going to have to Google those videos of you and maybe work on a few poses.
That'd be great.
So, all right. Well, Tim, thank you very much for giving us a little bit of time and just kind of introducing us to the world of Tai Chi.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
If you're in a rush to feel better physically and mentally, the solution may be to slow things down with Tai Chi. Consider an exercise routine that can be both medication and meditation in motion. If you liked what you heard today, please hit the subscribe button and leave a comment to share your thoughts. Till next time, be well.